Alright, Shalom. This is your brother Mayam coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Machah, Kodash. Double honor to the elders, apostles, the great millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim on the four corners of the earth, for diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. And just want to do a quick video. There's a lot going on this week, and it's been a lot going on the last couple weeks, with the whole Iran-Israel thing. And, just wanted to do a quick little update, MLTB update, as Esau always does, trying to do things right underneath the people's noses, while everyone's distracted with what's going on with Israel and Iran. Here it is. You got these devils passing in the Senate. Now it's, it's going to be on its way to the House, but the U.S. Senate passed a stable coin bill. All right, for crypto, for currency, digital currencies. Okay. And something I typed in that I got from this article, I said, what does a stable coin requiring tokens to be backed by liquid assets mean? And the AI overview, this is what it said. It said a stable coin requiring tokens to be backed by liquid assets mean that each stable coin issued must be fully covered by a reserve of readily available assets. You see? Now, let me type in something else real quick. And Salaki, if I haven't already, but first and foremost, I want to give all the praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Machah, Kodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, the great millstone, and much blessing and salutations to the Akim on the four corners of the earth. We're diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. Salaki, if I didn't say that already. But let me type in what is a digital, or what is a tokenized asset. Let's type that in. Tokenized. What is a tokenized asset? A tokenized asset is a digital representation of a real-world asset, like a real estate or stocks on a blockchain. This process, called asset tokenization, involves creating digital tokens that represent ownership or other rights to the underlying asset, allowing it to be traded and managed on a blockchain platform. You see? So this is what Edom wants to do. He wants to tie everything to a digital system, or as it states here, a blockchain platform. And for those of you that don't know, let's type that in as well. What is a blockchain platform? A blockchain platform is a shared digital ledger that enables secure and transparent recording of transactions and the tracking of assets with a network. It's a decentralized system where data is distributed across multiple computers, making it resistant to tampering and providing a single source of truth. You see, and that's where they get you right there, is that single source of truth. Because ultimately what they're doing, all right, as it said here, it enables secure and transparent recording of transactions and the tracking of assets within a network. And the true asset that the elites of this world, all right, those that run this world, that control the money, the true assets that they want to track within the network is you. They want to be able to know exactly what it is that you do, what it is that you spend your money on, where it is that you're going, and they'll be able to digitally track you, as they already have, various forms of doing that now with your cell phone, you have a wave of people already getting the MLTB, which is the RFID microchip. All right, but they have various different ways of being able to track you digitally. All right, whether it be credit card transactions, you see it in these shows all the time. They're able to track you by you making purchases. Well, in this digital future that Esau Edom is presenting to the world, all right, this is exactly what he's trying to do right now. As of right now, he's marketing it he's marketing this blockchain platform to be able to work with tokenized assets, which, we went in here, real estate, stocks or blockchain and other things, but everything's going to be tokenized. Okay, everything's going to have a digital ID, so that when you want to, let's say, trade your home, you don't have to worry about deeds, you don't have to worry about paperwork. It's all already tokenized. It's digital. Okay, and this is what they're bringing to pass now. Okay, they have this framework that they're building, or that they've built, and they're causing this to come to pass. Okay, and let's read a little bit of this article, because again, man, this is important, because you see how Esau Edom, in the midst of all this chaos that's happening on a global scale, Esau Edom, the devil that he is, he does these things behind closed doors. All right. So this was it says the U.S. Senate on Tuesday passed a bill to create a regulatory framework for a U.S. dollar pegged cryptocurrency tokens known as stablecoins, in a watershed moment for the digital asset industry. You see, and now as of right now, they're stating that it's going to be these stablecoins are going to be tied to the U.S. dollar, which we know that's not going to be true in the long run, because if they were to say it would be tied to a different currency, okay, well, people would wonder, well, why not the dollar? What's going on with the dollar? But ultimately, what's going to happen is the dollar is going to collapse, and it's going to become what they're going to tie this stable coin to. It's going to be a world coin. All right, let's get this real quick. Just typed in Google WorldCoin crypto. It says WorldCoin, or WLD, is a cryptocurrency project aiming to build a global identity and financial network. It does this through its unique World ID system, which utilizes iris scans to verify human uniqueness and create a privacy-preserved digital identity. The project was founded by none other than Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, along with Max Novenstern and Alex Blania. You see, and that OpenAI should stand out to you, because Trump has these guys working with him, in the office. For those of you that don't know. All right, but this is what the stable coin is going to be. Okay, it's going to be a world coin. It's not going to be a U.S. stable coin and China's going to have their own. No, it's going to be a world coin. Okay, it says the key aspects of the world coin. World ID, this is the core of the project, a decentralized digital identity network that allows users to prove they are a unique human online without revealing personal information. Now, ultimately, the people who run this whole thing are going to know your information. They're going to have access to it, but the majority, the rest of the populace isn't going to have access to it. It's going to be, and this is how they're selling it, it's going to be secured. Okay, to where people can't steal your identity, because everything is tied to a bio identity. Okay, everything's tied to that chip that's going to be put inside of you. All right, it says the orb, a physical device that scans a user's iris to generate a world ID. The iris scan is converted into a unique cryptographic identifier that is stored in a decentralized manner. Now, obviously, they're going to go away from this iris, or this way of bio identity, and they're going to go into the chip that's going to be inside of you. All right, WLD token, the native cryptocurrency of the WorldCoin ecosystem. It functions as a utility and governance token used for transactions and allowing users to participate in the network's future development. You see? Now, something that just came to mind, all right, because we just read, it said it allows users to participate in the network's future development, and something that they've been pushing for the last, I'd say 10, 12 years, 10, 15 years is this ESG. Or let's type in, what is ESG? ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. It's a framework used to assess a company's sustainability and ethical impact. Okay, obviously, there's going to go from a company, okay, to the individual, which you are an asset again. It said ESG criteria are used by investors and other stakeholders to evaluate a company's commitment to responsible practices. And again, this is going to be passed down onto the individual, okay, to evaluate your commitment to responsible practices. Are you contributing? Are you being a productive and positive contributor to society? Are you keeping your waste down? Okay, it says elaboration, the environmental aspect. It says this pillar focuses on a company's impact on the environment and includes factors like carbon emissions, energy consumption, waste management, pollution, and resource depletion. And again, all of this fits into an individual, not just a company. Okay, all these different factors, your carbon emissions, your energy consumption, your waste management. Okay, how you're tossing out trash. How much pollution are you putting out? And it says, and resource depletion. How fast are you going through these resources that you're given, that you're being given the opportunity to have? Okay, now it goes on to the next pillar. It says social. It says this pillar examines how a company manages its relationships with employees, customers, suppliers, and the communities where it operates. Key considerations include labor practices, diversity and inclusion, human rights, and community engagement. And again, this can be passed down onto the individual. How do you manage your relationships with the people in the world? And this is why social media has been blowing up the last 20 years. I'd say really since like 05, with the start of MySpace, and that's when Facebook started. If I'm not mistaken, even YouTube started around that time. Social media started getting big because what they were doing is they were laying the groundwork, okay, for the social world, okay. And as you see, as we've gotten to the point to where we're at today, this social media, or your footprint that you leave on social media has been monitored. Okay, you've now have moderators. You have, you can be banned. You can be removed. From certain communities. You can be banned from certain communities. Okay, if you don't act right, if you don't talk right, or if you don't, as long as you don't bring up certain topics, and this is exactly what it's going to. And they already got these different projects already in play, man, around the world. China's been doing this for, with a social credit score, this is what this is. ESG. This is the exact same thing as social credit score. It's just they portray it as something that's for a company rather than an individual, like China does with its social credit score. All right. It says governance. This pillar looks at a company's leadership, ethics, and transparency. It includes factors like board diversity, executive pay, shareholder rights, and accounting practices. It says ESG is increasingly important for investors who are using it to assess risk and opportunities related to sustainability and ethical considerations. It's also relevant for other stakeholders such as customers, employees, and communities who are also concerned about a company's impact on society and the environment. So as more information of your ESG score comes out, the more people are able to evaluate whether they want to do business with you or not. And on the flip, when this comes down to the individual, companies are able to see whether they should do business with you or not, or how much business they should do with you. Well, they see this guy, he's gone through a lot of resources this month, so we can only sell him this amount, and they'll be able to know this information through the internet highway, which is already, that groundwork is already laid out through the 5G network. For this information to be seen in an instant, all this information, and again is going to be tied to this MOTB, okay, to that Revelation 13 and 16. Okay, and they'll be able to cut you off. They'll be able to tell you, no, you can't buy this cheese, you can't buy this meat, you can't buy this gas or this electricity. We got to cut you off. Okay. And again, this is going to be all in real time, and it ain't even going to be people. It's going to be a computer system that automatically runs through this data and determines that you're not eligible for this or you're not eligible for that. This is what they have this open AI of people involved in this, man. And as you can see, it doesn't take long for you to get information quickly answered or given to you through this AI, man. And this is, just the beginning stages of what's been revealed to the public. Okay. But again, this is what they're passing. This is what they're bringing out. It says, in this article, it goes on to say, I'll read this part I read earlier. It says, the U.S. Senate on Tuesday passed a bill to create a regulatory framework for U.S. dollar-pegged cryptocurrency tokens known as stablecoins. In a watershed moment for the digital asset industry, the bill, dubbed the Genius Act, received bipartisan support with several Democrats joining most Republicans to back the proposed federal rules. It passed 68-30. The House of Representatives, which is controlled by Republicans, needs to pass its version of the bill before it heads to President Trump's desk for approval. It's a major milestone, and this is a quote, said Andrew Ullman, a managing partner at law firm Mayer Brown and the former deputy director of the National Economic Council during Trump's first term. It establishes for the first time a regulatory regime for stablecoins, a rapidly developing financial product and industry. Stablecoins, a type of cryptocurrency designed to maintain a constant value, usually a 1-to-1 dollar peg, are commonly used by crypto traders to move funds between tokens. Their use has grown rapidly in recent years, and proponents say that they could be used to send payments instantly. You see? To send payments instantly. It says if signed into law, the stablecoin bill would require tokens to be backed by liquid assets such as the US dollar and short-term treasury bills, and for issuers to publicly disclose the composition of the reserves on a monthly basis. The crypto industry has long pushed for lawmakers to pass legislation creating rules for digital assets, arguing that a clear framework could enable stablecoins to become more widely used. The sector spent more than $119 million backing pro-crypto congressional candidates in last year's elections and has tried to paint the issue as bipartisan. You see, so they've been, these people that are in there passing these laws, man, they've been bought and paid for. They've been set up. All right. And again, man, this is why the Lord has to, come and deliver us, man, because these devils, man, they've been setting these things up, and you so-called Americans think that you've been voting people in all actuality, these devils have been setting things up from the get-go. They've been the ones that have been putting people in the office. Real quick, this is Psalms 36 and I'll start at verse 1. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord. The transgression of the wicked saith within my heart, that there is no fear of the Most High before his eyes. And these devils don't fear the Lord. That's why they're doing what they're doing. Okay, that's why they think them passing these voting these people in, paying, these guys that are getting bought and paid for, they think the Lord don't see none of this shit. Also that they can bring their agenda to pass. It says, for he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his heart are iniquity and deceit. He had left off to be wise and to do good. He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. And you see, these devils, they don't abhor evil, man. They revel in it. All this ESG and social governance and these digital stable coins and tokenized assets, all this is evil, man. Why is it that you have to have something that you own digitized in a tokenized asset so that it can be put on a blockchain to be secure? Why can't you just put the deed where only you know where it's at, so that that information can't be stolen and no one can take your the assets from you? Again, but this is the deception that Esau has pushed out here, that his digitized vaults are more secure than anywhere that you can figure out where to hide your assets at. Okay? People used to hide their money in a mattress or bury it in the yard, somewhere. Nowadays people don't do that no more. Now everything's in a bank, everything's in CDs, everything's in accounts, everything's in lock boxes where other people also have access to. Okay, it says, "Thy mercy, O Lord, is in the heavens, and thy faithfulness reaches." That was the point. It says, "He deviseth mischief upon his bed." These devils, man, when they do these things in the middle of the night, man. I really don't know when they passed this little StableCoin thing in the Senate, but I wouldn't put it past that it was at midnight. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand." You see, in at night, that's what these devils do. They spend their nights planning, plotting, passing bills while you people are asleep. They're passing these things they're making changes in their policies so that they can cause their craft to prosper, man, in the day. Okay. It says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage." And this is what society has come to, man, where everyone is oppressed. You don't own nothing. And they even what's his name, Charles Schwab, brought that out a while back, man, years ago. You shall own nothing and like it, man, and be happy. Majority of people don't own anything nowadays. They finance a car. All right, they either pay rent or they finance the home that's owned by someone else still, because you don't have the deed in hand. Okay, it's all digitized, right? even if you pay off your car nowadays, you don't even get the title. There's a digital or electronic title that they keep on hand. You have to physically go and pay to get a physical copy of a title to a car, man. So again, the people of this earth are oppressed, man, especially here in Babylon the Great. It says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil." And this is the times that we're in, man. We're in this evil time, man. And the Lord he's devised an evil against these people. Okay, the Lord has been setting these devils up. Let's get that in the book of Job. Because these devils, the Lord has put it in their minds that they're going to get away with all this. Okay, let's see where it's at. Job 20 and 22, it says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency," let me see. Right, we'll start at verse 19. Job 20 and 19, it says, "Because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating." And that's the thing, is that the Lord is putting it in these nations to rebel against this devil, man. Because everyone's tired of Esau, Edom ruling. And the nations of the world are starting to see that Esau, Edom has been setting things up for him to rule forever, man. And the nations are not with it. They're like, nah, you ain't going to rule forever. We got next. So this is why the nations are standing up. The weak are saying they are strong because they're fed up. Therefore, the nations are mad, man, because they've been made drunken with the wine of this devil. And you see how Esau, Edom, throughout the many years, throughout the centuries, he's been setting the world up with his dollar, with his currency, tying everything back to him financially, so that he can control these people, and the people and nations and peoples become dependent upon him and his money, to the point to where we're at now, where everything is so tied to the dollar, which is what makes the dollar so liquid, that everything is tied to it, that he that controls the money controls the people, man. So now if you act up, if you talk, if you're talking any type of way against him, what does he do? He either puts sanctions on you, takes away. Look what they did with Russia. They took them off the Swiss system, which is the financial framework for, nations to do business, financial transactions with. Okay, which, you got these other nations that have been setting themselves up now. And this is what ultimately is going to lead why these nations are going to, be led into war, because, Esau Edom is trying to bring about something onto the world, and the other nations ain't with it. Okay, they want to set up their own thing, and this is why they've been working on their own systems in the background, in hush. All right, but these devils, man, they think they're slick, and the Lord is getting ready to disappoint them, man. He's getting ready to bring a great evil upon these people. And that's all that's come, man. Evil and only evil has come, as it tells us in Ezekiel chapter 7, man. All right. Hey, man, we're living in beautiful times, and things are getting real serious out here, man. It's high time to wake up out of thy sleep. All right. So, hey, Lord's will is edifying. I want to give all the praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah, Quadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Much blessing and citations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. That I say, Shalom.